Hi besties, welcome back to my space. So on today's episode, we are going to talk about how to create and stick with your budget. If you're on a journey to financial freedom or you have decided to take your personal finances serious, you would agree with me that budgeting is one of the tools that you cannot do without. But oftentimes you find out that you start up with budgeting and at some point you fall off, or you cannot stick with your budget due to one reason or the other. We're going to discuss this now. Bring your popcorn, get your pen and paper, because you might be needing to write one or two things. If you found value in any of my video, please do well to share it out to your friends and family, and also to subscribe and click on the notification bell. So one thing I'm going to tell you about sticking to your budget. Okay, let's define budget in clear terms first of all. So what is budgeting? Budgeting is telling your income, your money, telling your money what to do. Because if you don't tell your money what to do, money has been made and money will be used for something. Actually, something else will tell you what to do, either the people around you or the circumstances that you find yourself in. So what you do when you budget is telling your money in clear terms what you want it to achieve for you. So that being said, the first thing I'll tell you that makes us not to stick to our budget is what? Not acknowledging our financial weaknesses. Yes, you to a point you have not acknowledged what is your financial weakness. You have not identified it first of all, and you have not acknowledged it. Everybody, every one of us has a financial weakness. It might be emotional, like you cannot be there and someone say, please do, I need 2,000, I need 1,000, I need this, I need that, and you will be inclined to help. It might be fashion. You love fashion, you love clothing, you love shopping, you love buying new things. It might be partying, it might be drinking, it might be outdoor activities. There must be something. It might that thing might not be necessarily a bad habit, but it is a it has a bad financial impact on you. So the first rule to stick to your budget is to do what? Is to find out what is your financial weakness and acknowledge it. Yes, if you are not going to stop it the first day or immediately, but if you acknowledge that this is where my money goes to so much, then you now find ways to do what? To reduce the frequency, and over time you will see yourself being able to manage it properly. And the second mistake we make is not tracking our expenses before budgeting. I always tell people that you don't just sleep and wake up and you decide to just bring pen and paper and you start budgeting money. No, you first of all do what is called tracking. You track your financial expenses. Track what do you do with money when you were not budgeting, when you didn't have any form of budget. Where does your money go? So first of all, I always advise that if you want to create a budget and stick with your budget, you should first of all track what? Your expenses. Track how much you spend on food, how much you spend on groceries, how much you spend on rent or mortgage or subscriptions. Do you owe debt? Do you have loans? What are your expenses? What are your financial engagements and obligations? What do you need to do on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, on a monthly basis, or on a yearly basis? What are your future plans? So if you don't track these things and you just sit down and create an imaginary budget, there is high chances that you will notice that you will not stick to this budget, no matter how hard you will try to stick to this budget, because the budget will be unrealistic for you, and it will be either it's too porous or it will be too tight, because you don't know where the money is going to actually. The third one is what? Why? What is your why? You have to have a strong why. You have to have a motivation, something that why you have decided to budget, why you have decided to be to take your personal finances serious. Do you want to maybe create generational wealth? Do you want to be financially free? Do you want to purchase something? Do you want to, like, maybe you want to get a house, you want to get a car, you want to travel the world, you want to, there must be something. There should be a why you're doing something. You should not do something because, yeah, you found everybody is doing it, or that is the right thing to do. It might be the right thing to do, but it might not be the right thing for you to do. So you have to have your why. Why are you doing this? Why do you find it important? Or what is your motivation behind it? So I think if you have a strong why you want to create your budget and you want to stick with your budget, you find it easier to be able to stick with your budget. So for a simple budget and for a beginner who is just going into budgeting, I will advise that your budget should go in these ways. 4 major things are what you should look out for in your budget. The first one is what? Your fixed expenses. Your fixed expenses, yes, because these are expenses that come every that they are recurring. Maybe they come every week, they come every month, or they come every year. So these are your fixed expenses. The second one is your debt. Are you in debt? Do you have any loans or debts that are mortgages and the rest that you're paying for? Then the next one is fun activities. What makes you happy? What do you like doing? Yes, you should be among your budget. Then the next one is what? Your future plans. What is your plan for the future? What do you want to use money for the future purposes, like getting a car maybe, or investment, or whatever it is? Yes, what is your future plan for money? Then your savings. You should know also that whenever you have an income in your hand, you split it into savings and what? Expenses. Yes, so when you split out your savings, whatever that is remaining, then you go through it with these 4 steps. So on your fixed budget, you should be having something like your rent, your food, your utility, your gas bills, your transportation there. So when you come to debt, you should be talking about student loan. If you have a student loan, you should talk about your car loan, your mortgage, your phone contract, or any form of loan or any form of debt that you are in. So you should factor that in. Then when you come to your fun activities, it can be restaurants, eating out, clothing, shopping, subscriptions, meeting with friends and all that. Then when you come about your future plans, it can be about vacations, about new car, new furniture, relocating, your house, getting a house, or building a house, or whatever it is that is in your future plan. So all these are what you should budget for, no matter the percentage you are budgeting for it. One point I will also make is what? Do not budget unseen funds. Do not budget unseen funds. Then also I will say that you budget and plan to live below your income. Yes, you should not budget till the end line of your income. Let's say you are making £2,000 if you are here in United Kingdom, or if you are back home. I'm using Nigeria as an example. You are making like 200,000 a month, and you budget till the end line of £2,000. No, if you are budgeting 200,000 or £2,000, you should not budget more than 1,900 or 1,800. Give a little room for some unbudgeted income, because things will happen, unforeseen circumstance will happen, and you will not feel guilty not sticking to your budget, because you have a little fund somewhere that you can use for that. Some people also budget that in their budget, like they will say unforeseen budget, they will now put maybe £100 or like 10,000 naira for it, and keep it somewhere for any emergency that comes up. So I don't know, but it depends on what works for you. If you can include it in your budget, fine. If you can also leave some part of your income out unbudgeted, it will also help you to keep to track to your budget. Then another one is what? Have a budget tracker. Have something that tracks your budget. You don't budget on your head. You just say, on my head I'll use 500. No, That's not budgeting. If you want to budget, either you get your pen and your paper, get your diary, you write down what and what, make a what will I call it? You rule it out and write it in clear terms. What you are using the money for, like rent, I'll use this, how much for rent, savings, I'll save this much, this and that. You write it out in clear terms. Or you have a phone that has you look for apps that you can track your expenses with. Personally, me, I use one of my bank accounts, Revolut. It has a section of it they call budgeting. So what I do is that every month I go there and I budget for my groceries, my rent, my transport, everything, my shopping, health, everything that I need to budget for the month. I budget it on my phone, and I also use the card, the ATM card for that bank for most of these transactions. So every month I take that card. If I'm doing transport, if I want to transport, I use the card for transport. If I'm buying groceries, I use the card for it's just my daily spending card. So whenever I spend this money, just go to the particular category that the expenses is meant for. It goes there to drop how much I've spent. Like if I have budgeted £100 for transport for the month, so when I spend this if I spend like £2 on a bus, it goes to my £100 budget and removes it, and it remains 98. And whenever my budget is running down, it always tells me that you have only £10 left for your budget for transport, or you have finished your budget for shopping, or you have done this. So try and get a budget tracker. If it's an app you have to download, you download. If you have to write with your paper and your pen, you write maybe in your diary or your carry-on book, somewhere you can always put it on. But for me, I prefer the phone on, or if you can, any way you can, but somehow you have to track your income, you have to track your expenses. That is the effective way to do budgeting. If you don't track it, there is no how you will know. You might even spend money and not know how you even spent the money. Then when you come and sit down and think, you find out that you cannot even remember what happened to that particular amount of money, or what you use that amount of money to do. So tracking is very, very important for you to do effective budgeting. The thing that might make you not to stick with your budget is being unrealistic. When you become unrealistic, you start budgeting money that you have not made and you are not even sure of making. You start budgeting with the money that somebody promised you. You start budgeting with debts that people are owing you. Like somebody is owing you money and you're already budgeting that money into your monthly expenses or your weekly expenses or your yearly expenses. No, you can like budget like this person. When the person pays me this money, I'll use the money for this particular thing, but not like putting it in your day-to-day budget. So being unrealistic with your budget is one of the things that will make you not to even stick with your budget, because when you're unrealistic with it, definitely you are not going to keep it. Then another thing is low motivation. Just like I said before, your why. So if you do not have something that is motivating you to stick to your budget, there are chances that you might not stick to the budget. Another one is low financial knowledge. If you don't read books, improve on your financial knowledge, know how to do know some basic financial information, you might really stick to your budget. You might do yourself some financial harm while you think you are doing yourself some good. And another thing is what? Discipline. In all I have said, discipline is one of the things that will make you stick to your budget. If you are not disciplined, if you have not decided to be financially disciplined, there is no way you will stick to your budget, because you already know that you budgeted that you will spend £50, or let me say 50,000 naira in clothing, and you end up finding a shoe that you like, a bag that you like, skincare and all that, and you keep say, okay, let me get it, let me do this. You have already gone out of your financial budget. Even something like skincare, that one happens to women a lot. You have already bought something that you are supposed to use for the month, then you see someone on TikTok or Instagram saying this one cleared my acne, this one cleared this one cleared that. Then you will now jump and go and buy that one. At the end of the day, it might not even solve the problem, but you have broken your budget for that month. And also understanding yourself, understanding your financial standing, understanding your relationship with money. And another thing, your mindset. Yes, you have to have the right mindset for money. And I will still talk about all these different topics in a more detailed video on this channel. So do well to subscribe and stay with me while we go through this financial journey together. See you in my next one. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.